Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our today's newspaper. So let's get started, guys. First of all, we are going to see important topics of the day, and later on, we are going to see each and every topic from prelims and as well as mains point of view. And I'll be letting you know like how questions can be asked from that topic from prelims and as well as mains. And at last, we are going to see some prelims practice questions so that you can understand how exactly the questions can be asked by UPSC. Okay, let us see the topics of the day. The first topic is 31% of Rajya Sabha MPs have declared criminal cases, says report. So this article is talking about criminalization of politics. That is one important area where UPSC frequently asks question in your mains. And this topic is important from polity from GS paper 2. And next topic is heavy rain triggers landslides, flash flood in Arunachal Pradesh. As you all know that monsoon started, and recently we discussed one article about glacial lakes, increasing of size of glacial lakes in Arunachal Pradesh. And now there is again heavy rainfall. If there is any landslide or if there is any flash flood, obviously it may cause disaster in this Arunachal Pradesh. So this topic is important for disaster management, and even you will study about this landslides, flash flood topic in your geography also. So this article is important from both the sides, and mostly you can expect mains based question, and if in case if UPSC gives a question, it can give a prelims based question on landslides. And next topic is razor's edge. High heat and low rainfall is threatening agricultural produce. This article is talking about environment and ecology, and it is also important from GS paper 1 under geography. And next topic is clearing the road to timely trauma care in India. Recently, Supreme Court gave a judgment. What is our judgment? Right to walk on footpath is a fundamental right. And one more judgment you have to remember is right to timely trauma care is also a fundamental right under 21. So this is also one new judgment given by Supreme Court, and it expanded Article 21. So here you have to see about that, what is this trauma care, why we need to give this trauma care, and what are the directions given by Supreme Court, all those things that you have to remember. And this is important from polity point of view from GS paper 2, and for sure in 2026 mains or in 2027 mains, you can expect a question related to Article 21 and its expansion. So you have to know about that in detail. And next article is sustaining India's low fertility future. As you all know that India's TFR rate is declining, right? And especially in urban areas, it is very low. So this article is giving some data related to India's total fertility rate, and it is saying what are the challenges we are going to face in future, and next what will be the impact of low fertility rate. All these areas you have to remember, and you may expect a mains based question for sure this time related to TFR. Okay. And now let us see the articles in detail. Read out the title. 31% of Rajya Sabha MPs have declared criminal cases, says one report. What does it mean? You know, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, right? Rajya Sabha is upper house or lower house? Upper house. What about Lok Sabha? Lok Sabha is lower house. In which house we have more members and which house we have less members? Lok Sabha we have more members. What is the strength normally? Okay, what about Rajya Sabha strength? Okay, 245, right? Okay, so out of this around 31%. So what is the 31% out of this 245? Come on, calculate. Math students who are speed at making calculations. How many members? Around approximately at least 100. If there are 100 members, it will be 31. 200 plus one more 31. It is around 62. 62 plus in 40 around 30 means? Okay, around 72, 73 or 74 I guess. So on those members, there are criminal cases. That means, can we say there is criminalization of our politics? Criminals are entering into politics, yes or no? So this topic is very, very important. Whenever you read about members of parliament, like members of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, whatever it may be, so one important challenge we are facing in India is criminalization of politics. That is, criminals, they are entering into politics. So this concept is called as criminalization of politics. So if UPSC wants to ask a question, how it can ask? So the name of this report is ADR, Association for Democratic Reforms. So how the question can be framed by UPSC is, in the light of recent ADR report on criminalization of politics, it said 31% of Rajya Sabha members have criminal cases on them. Discuss reasons and suggest some measures. Like that, UPSC can ask you a question on criminalization of politics. They may not ask directly this report. They may not ask directly to write the highlights of this report. They won't. But they will take this key concept which is called as criminalization of politics. It may ask, what is the meaning of criminalization of politics? What is criminalization of politics? What are the causes? What is the impact? What are the measures? And also sometimes UPSC can ask you some Supreme Court judgments related to criminalization of politics, what it said in that judgments. So in that way, if you're making your notes, then it will be easy to write any mains question if it is asked in this concept called as criminalization of politics. And it is one of the repeated theme of UPSC because it is a major problem you're facing in our country. Obviously, UPSC wants to know about this and UPSC wants to think about this, and you have to suggest some measures. Okay. So now let us see what exactly this report is telling, and we will move on to this topic of criminalization of politics. If you see this report, it is saying that around 31% of Rajya Sabha RS members, they have declared criminal cases against themselves. And out of this 31, 16% of them have declared they are having serious criminal cases. So these serious criminal cases includes like murder cases, attempt to murder cases, and exploitation of women related cases. Those are like severe cases. Around 16% of members of Rajya Sabha have this kind of serious criminal cases on them. And who released this report? ADR, meaning if you see the full form, that is Association for Democratic Reforms. Every year you will see at least one article related to ADR report in the news. Okay, and you have to remember or mug up that facts for sure. You have to remember this data. 31% of Rajya Sabha MPs have criminal cases on them according to ADR report, Association for Democratic Reforms. Clear? That is why it is important. And this much, if you remember this one paragraph, it is more than enough for your value addition part while you are writing any answer related to criminalization of politics. Okay, now let us see why. What are the reasons why these criminals are entering into politics? Okay, I want to tell you a story. I think you might have seen some old movies. In old movies, how they used to depict in that movie, there is one person who wants to contest in elections. Okay, there is one person who wants to contest in election. Earlier, they used to take support of this criminals. Okay, so these persons, they will use money and they will recruit these criminals, rowdies, gundas, whatever it may be, and they will try to make the people afraid of them. And what happened? Normally, ultimately, people will be voting in favor of this person. Or if you go to like Vijay Shanti era kind of movies, at that time how they will depict this election. So these criminals will try to take this entire booth under their control. That is called as booth rigging. And these criminals will be like voting and they will be dropping that voted papers in that ballot box. Can you recall that kind of old scenes? Okay, earlier what was the scenario was, if they wants to win in elections, they can purchase or they can buy these criminals and they will create fear in the society, and these people used to vote in the favor of that person. But now what is the trend here is, why we have to help this person to win an election? We will only directly contest an election, because already people have fear. Already they created fear, or these society is already afraid of that guys. Why we have to support these people? We will only win we will only contest an election, and we will only win in the election. So now what happening here is, these criminals, they are directly contesting in elections, and after they win the election, obviously they will become MPs or MLAs, whatever it may be. So this process of entering of criminals into politics is called as criminalization of politics. So because of this, what happened? Obviously, MPs and MLAs, if they are criminals, they will be having criminal cases on them. So who will give this report? That is ADR, Association for Democratic Reforms. Okay, clear? So now, if you see the causes of this criminalization of politics, first one is muscle power and criminal nexus. Normally, these politicians, they are using criminals to sway voters. That means to make them afraid of, or to make them fear. And obviously, what happened? They will win in the elections with the support of these criminals, or directly the criminals can contest in this elections. That is the one thing which is happening. That is because of muscle power. And next one is, money power. If there is money, we can do anything in the present society. Yes. So second one here is money power. If they are spending excessively during this elections, campaigning, whatever it may be, so they are winning the elections. And next one is identity politics. Normally, if you go to some rural areas, elections especially related to these panchayats, they prioritize caste or religion over the criminal records, even if there are criminal cases on that guy. So they will follow this caste politics and as well as religion politics in rural areas. Because of that, what happening? So these criminals are entering into this politics and they are continuing their legacy. And next one is, we have weak laws and there is very slow judicial process. Process of judiciary will take lots of time, especially if you want to get the judgment related to civil case. It will take minimum of 8 years. If you take this criminal cases, it will take minimum of 10 years. So because of this slow judicial process, so this kind of things are going on in our society. And next one is, we have poverty, illiteracy, underdevelopment. So because of this also, we can easily manipulate these voters. All these are the reasons that are leading to this criminalization of politics. Okay, next one is, what is the impact if these criminals are entering into politics? Will they serve the society? For sure, no. Can we ensure development in our country? There will be delay in development. So first one here is, obviously there will be erosion of democratic values. Why there will be erosion of democratic values? Actually, criminals means nothing but they already broken the law. The fate of our country is, the people who violate the law, they will become lawmakers. Are you understanding this point? The people who already broken the law, they are becoming the lawmakers. How they will become the lawmakers? After entering into this Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, ultimately they will be part of legislature. So what is the purpose of legislature? They will make the laws, right? So law breakers will become lawmakers now. So whenever they are making laws, obviously what are the provisions are there in that law will be favoring them only. So they will make laws which will favor them rather than development or serving the public or common people. So that is a one important problem. Because of this, it will lead to erosion of democratic values. And next one is, obviously justice is denied. transparency will be not there, accountability is not there. Okay, so here these will be the impact, and even public will lose trust on government and election process, everything. Okay, and what are the measures can be taken here? So if you see measures, we have one important act called as Representation of People's Act of 1951. Okay, so here you have to remember we have two acts. One is Representation of People's Act of 1950 and one more thing is Representation of People's Act of 1951. UPSC asked questions in prelims related to 1950 and 1951 many a times, and even in mains also this is one of the important area. And this time there is SIR in news, yes, special intense revision. So because of this in 2026 mains there will be for sure question on Representation of People's Act of 1950. I'll tell you a basic difference, try to remember this case. We have two acts, 1950 and 1951. 1950 talks about what we do before elections. Our understanding, before elections what we do, like revision of voter list, special intense revision, okay, and if there are any new voters who are eligible, so registering them, all this related to this 1950. And 1951 talks about actual conduct of elections and after elections. Actual conduct means nothing but today we have elections and eligible voters has to cast their vote. So where they have to go and what are the rules and restrictions is to be followed on that election day, and everything will be dealt by this 1951 Act before elections, like whatever the preparations will be done by Election Commission of India related to voter list, SIR, updating of voter list, removal of names, everything will be related to this 1950 case. That is a major difference between 1950 and 1951. So now we are talking about criminalization of politics. So it will be dealt in this Representation of People's Act of 1951. So in this act, there is one section called as Section 8 subclass 3. It disqualifies legislatures convicted for a sentence of at least 2 years. I think you already came across this point in your polity class, right? So if anyone is having any case on them and if they had convicted for a sentence of 2 years, they will be disqualified. For how much time? For the period of 6 years. For the next 6 years, they cannot contest in elections. Okay, that is clearly written in Section 8 of Representation of People's Act of 1951. And even we have several judgment given by Supreme Court related to this criminalization of politics, and you have to remember those three important cases. First one is Union of India versus ADR. Okay, same ADR, Union of India versus ADR in 2002. Supreme Court said that it should be mandatory disclosure of candidates. Okay, that means MLAs or MPs, they have to compulsorily disclose their past or pending criminal charges. Supreme Court said in year 2002, and from that 2002 onwards, MPs and MLAs, they are disclosing their criminal cases which are on them, like either past or present. Whatever the cases are there, they are disclosing those criminal cases. And next one is we have Public Interest Foundation case of 2018, and in this case Supreme Court ordered mandatory publication of criminal records of candidates by political parties. Okay, in 2002 it said that members has to disclose their cases. Even though if they are disclosing, they have to put in certain domain, right? Then only people will be knowing about their cases. If there is no release of information related to this, will people come to know about that? No. So that is said in this 2018 case. Supreme Court mandatorily said that So MPs from Congress party or MPs from BJP or MPs from so and so party. So that political party will be having a certain website. Yes, in that website they have to clearly disclose this information of criminal cases of their party members. That is given in 2018. And next one is Lily Thomas versus Union of India case of 2013. In this case, Supreme Court said that if anyone is convicted in criminal case, then they should be disqualified immediately. And after disqualification for next 6 years, they cannot be contested. So these are the three important cases related to criminalization of politics. And now your new generation, you will be having like very warm blood. So now you have to think about what are the measures can we take to prevent criminalization of politics in our country. So think on that way, use some resources and try to collect at least 4 to 5 innovative points that you can write to attract examiner. Are you understanding? So this is one of the repeated theme of UPSC, that's why. Clear? And now let us see the next article. Look at this article, read out the title guys. Heavy rainfall triggers landslides, flash flood in Arunachal Pradesh. 1 person killed, 4 reported missing in 6 districts remain cut off. Assam issues high alerts in districts downstream of affected areas. Okay, so this article is talking about our northeast. Okay, now tell me guys, which are the states of northeast? Even with location. I want location. Many of you might be confused with the location of this northeastern states, right? But for surprise, many questions related to national parks or environment and ecology related questions will be asked from northeast or south part. You have to know in detail map of northeast. Okay, tell me the states of northeast. Arunachal Pradesh, below that Assam, last part Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Tripura. Okay. So now you know about monsoon season, right? We have 2 branches. One is Arabian Sea branch, one is Bay of Bengal branch. This Bay of Bengal branch will cause rainfall in this northeastern part. And this time we have El Nino or La Nina? El Nino. El Nino means we are expecting less rainfall than normal. Yes? Finally, rainfall started. Monsoon winds hit India, that too by delay with 4 days. Normally on June 1st, this monsoon winds has to hit this Kerala coast. But on June 4th, it hit and they are moving, right? And now this Bay of Bengal branch is causing heavy rainfall in this northeastern part. And on not only northeastern part, even in Mumbai also floods had been started. So many articles now today's newspaper is talking about heavy rainfall in Mumbai, and in front page itself there is one image related to how this havoc created because of this monsoon rainfall in Mumbai. So you can see all those articles. But why we are focusing on this Arunachal Pradesh is recently we discussed one data, and this data had been analyzed by taking satellite images. And what we discussed, there are 4 glacial lakes which are increasing the size from last decade. So whenever there is increasing of size of these glacial lakes, and now again rainfall is happening, that means there will be more and more water can be accumulated in these glacial lakes. Okay, so what happens whenever there is more and more water is reaching these lakes? Obviously, sometimes the boundary that will be get burst. Because of this, what happened? It may cause glacial lake outburst flood. Okay, now here you have to think about what are the measures we can take to control this glacial lake outburst flood. That is a one area. And next one here is you have this topic called as landslide. What is the meaning of landslide? Okay. If you are having any hill or any mountain, whatever the soil which is present on the surface, if there is any heavy rainfall, or what happens, this water will be get mixed with soil. So whenever this water gets mixed with the soil, it will form slurry. So actually the slurry is very slippery in nature. And what happens? It is having a slope. So across that slope, it will try to come down and it will cause landslide. Okay. In 2024, landslide which happened in Kerala led to a great havoc. Entirely two villages got been swept away, and hundreds of people they were died in that incident. Especially in the northeast part of our country, the major problem is landslide. What is the reason? As you all know that Indian plate is moving northward even till today. Even today also it is moving towards northward. So because of this, what happened? That north part and northeastern part, it is not that much stable as we compare with that of this peninsular part or Deccan part. So because of this, we can see frequent earthquakes, frequent landslide. So if this kind of heavy rainfall happen means this area will be much more vulnerable now. So if you are posted in this Himalayan state, you will be having lot of work. Always you have to focus on this disaster prevention and disaster mitigation. So for that reason, you have to know about the geography of that location and what kind of disasters can be occurred in that region, and how you have to be aware, like how you have to mitigate, how you have to prevent. You have to work on this, guys, if you are posted in this Himalayan states. Okay, so here in your geography, we'll be studying about landslides, different types of landslides, why these landslides can happen. So there is a separate chapter called as mass movements. In that chapter, you will be studying that clearly. Okay, as of now, just remember that Arunachal Pradesh is having this glacial lakes and this size is expanding, and now again there is increased rainfall. Because of that, it is much more vulnerable. And one more problem we can see in this northeastern part is if there is heavy rainfall, which river is flowing through that northeastern part? Which Himalayan river? River Brahmaputra, right? So what happens? The flooded water will come to this Brahmaputra more, and this Brahmaputra level of water in this river will be obviously increased. And we discussed about one island in the recent days. What is that island? Majuli Island. What is the problem in this Majuli Island? Because of heavy rainfall in that area, which animals are getting more vulnerable? Which animals are getting problems? Especially cattle. Cattle is not getting proper grazing land. So they are shifting this cattle to other safe areas. So now again there is a threat to Majuli Island in that area because of increasing of river water rise. And next, one more dimension you have to think here is we have many national parks across this river Brahmaputra. So what are those national parks? National parks in Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. Tell me, guys. Kaziranga National Park. Next, Manas National Park, Orang National Park, Nandapa National Park. So you have to know about even national parks in this northeastern part. And what happened here, whenever the flooding happens in this Brahmaputra river, obviously it will be having impact on animals also in this national parks. Especially you will be seeing articles in the next week or within next 10 days that one-horned rhinoceros are facing problem because of this flooded water in this river Brahmaputra. Especially in every year during monsoon season, this will be the highlights in the newspaper, guys. Okay, so in this way you have to connect everything. Every point is important. So you have to see your geography, you have to see your disaster management, you have to see your environment, you have to see the species, you have to see the rivers, tributaries, even islands, everything. Sab kuch, everything is important. Okay? Yeah, see this next article. Razor's Edge. High heat and low rainfall is threatening agriculture produce. Come on, based on your knowledge, tell me what does it mean? What this article might written? What about the content? Just guess, guys. High heat, low rainfall is threatening agriculture produce. Okay, due to El Nino. Okay, one point is El Nino. El Nino might be written. Okay, next. Okay, I will give you one tip. Already it had been many days you are listening to current affairs and you got some awareness like, okay, this article is important, this is not, like that. You have a little bit awareness at least. So whenever you are reading editorials, don't read directly editorial. Don't read directly editorial. Just read the title and below this there will be one line. Just read that and try to think like what are the points can be given in this article. If possible, write somewhere side of that page like, this point may be given, this point may be given. Just jot down the points and after that read this and check whether your thinking process, whether your thoughts are reflected in this article or not. If it is reflected, then your confidence will be boosted. Okay, if there are any additional points are there, try to remember that. Okay, and you have to think on that lines like, why I didn't thought that this point will be there. Then what happened? Obviously, you can remember that point for the long period. So this is the trick that you have to use. Already it had been many days. No, you know which article is important, which is not, which is there in your syllabus, which you can connect with your static portion or GS 1, 2, 3, 4. You know that. So practice in this way so that you will be not get even bored when you are reading your newspaper. It will be like interesting task and even you can improve your thought process, you can improve your perspectives and even you can remember the points for the long period. So this is the way that you have to read the editorials. Why I am telling you to do only with this editorials? Editorials are nothing but the articles which will be given in the earlier days. They will sum up in the editorials, right? So if you are listening to our class, you will be know like what happened in that. And finally, you can directly impose or you can write some points on this. And if there is any additional points, you can remember it. Okay, clear? So now you guys tell me, first one is, it is talking about high heat, low rainfall. Low rainfall is because of El Nino, accepted. And next, is there any report recently released by IMD? IMD recently came with a forecast. It said that 35% of deficit rainfall. Again, it is related to low rainfall. Next. Come on, think. Link with agriculture produce. Online students, come on. Tell me in the comment box. Think, you can do it. El Nino, IMD report. Next, any other things that is there in your mind or not? High heat because of what? Climate change is happening. Global warming is increasing. Obviously, temperature will be rise. Next, exploitation of groundwater. Okay, exploitation of groundwater. Next. Okay, see here the points which are given is, the first one is, recently IMD came up with a forecast. It said that there will be deficit of 35%, around 35% of deficit of rainfall we have. So what is the reason? Reason here is because of El Nino. Because of El Nino, we are having less rainfall and IMD said that there is 35% of deficit rainfall we can have. Okay, and next one here is, so if you are having less rainfall, then what about the water level in the reservoir? Less or more? Again, they are talking about reservoir storage. If we are not having proper water in reservoirs, can we ensure proper irrigation facilities? No. If you are not having proper irrigation facilities, can we provide enough water to our crops? Then what happen? There will be effects on agriculture or not? Yes? Okay. And next, there is one report which is given here. Agriculture Ministry is saying that there are around 315 vulnerable irrigation projects. Okay. So, because of this, what happened? Obviously, there will be impact on agriculture productivity. And now, if you're talking about heat, there is climate change, global warming. increasing of temperature. So if temperature increases, what about labor productivity? Will this labor work normally in this agriculture fields? So they said that there will be reducing of agriculture productivity. Okay. So what happens here? Overall, sowings of Kharif will be increased or decreased. Now we have Kharif season. On one side there is no rainfall. On one side in our reservoirs also no water. On one side there is high heat. Labor productivity is decreased. Then what about Kharif sowings? In Kharif, which kind of crops will grow? Will go for rice, pulses, oil seed. Again, this Kharif sowings will be reduced. And one more problem here is, on another side, if you take geopolitics, we have West Asian crisis. Accepted? What we are getting from this West Asia? Crude oil, and even through that Strait of Hormuz, you are getting our fertilizer. Right? So there is one point on fertilizer. The availability of fertilizer is low. It is under pressure now because of tensions in West Asia. Okay, so because of this, what is happening here? Agriculture productivity will be obviously reduced. Then because of this, what can happen? Food inflation. What is food inflation? There will be increased food prices. Already recently in the month of April and May, we studied that there is increased food inflation. There is around 4.2% of food inflation in the month of April. And next one here is not only this food grains, but which prices had been increased in the market? Vegetable prices. Which vegetable prices? Tomato prices, onion prices, potato, onion, tomato. Yes. So there is increased price of vegetables and pulses. So because of this, what is happening? Inflation is happening. If inflation is increased, who will take care of inflation? Government and RBI. Government policy is called as fiscal policy. RBI's policy is called as monetary policy. Again, they gave here monetary policy. Are you understanding? So all these points, do you know or not? So if you study in this way, you can easily connect different subjects and you can write a multi-dimensional answer. Are you understanding? So in this way, you have to study your editorials. Just read the title. Just jot down the points. What will be there? What do you think? And then come to this article. And if there are any points that you have missed there, try to highlight here so that you can remember it for a long period. So this is about this article, guys. Okay, now let us see what exactly this article is saying. So this article is giving some way forward. So that way forward is, rather than depending on water intense crops, we have to go for less water intensive crops. That means don't grow this rice or sugarcane. We can grow this millets, jowar, bajra, you know that, right? So we have to go for millets. And the next one here is, okay. So next point here they said is, government should consider a new authority to coordinate related to interstate water use. So actually many rivers will be flowing between different states, right? Like Godavari river is flowing between many states. Kaveri river is flowing between many states. So whenever river is flowing between two states or more than two states, they will be having river disputes, right? Kaveri river dispute, Krishna river dispute, whatever it may be. So related to this, why these disputes happen between the states? Why they need water? Water they need for agriculture, they need for industries, they need for daily use, drinking water. Yes. So how they have to use this limited water efficiently? For this, they have to establish a new authority and they have to coordinate with the states. And this one is, they have to coordinate with even cropping changes. And they have to go for proper estimates or forecast of El Nino. And they have to ensure proper governance related to agriculture and water management. So this is about this article. Clear? Any doubt in this? Already you know everything, but you have to keep them in points in order wise. Okay, see this next article, guys. Clearing the road to timely trauma care in India. What is the keyword? Keyword is trauma care. Okay, to understand this, you have to know some basics. Okay, have you seen any road accident? Anyone? Road accident before your eyes? Okay, if there is any road accident, what happened in the next minute? Uh, Everyone will be coming there to see, and there will be a formation of a crowd. Okay, how many of them exactly will help that victim, that person? Everyone wants to see and go away, but very less people will come forward to help them. Why very less people are coming to help them? What is the reason? There may be a fear of case. You only did that and you only informed. So like that, there will be a fear of case. If there is no fear of case, will many people come forward to help them or not? Yes. And one more important concept you have to remember is golden hour. What is golden hour? Accident happened within 1 hour. If we can help him to reach nearby hospital, if as soon as possible, if he is getting treatment, obviously there will be increased chances of saving the life. So no, as soon as accident happened, the blood loss will happen. Blood is everything, right? So if you try to stop the blood loss, and if you try to injecting the blood into the body within 1 hour, obviously what happened? There will be a increased chances of saving of life of that person. But because of fear of cases, many people are not helping. Only very less people will come forward to help. Those are called as good Samaritans. Remember that good Samaritans are the people who are helping this accident victims. Okay, now this article is saying that road to timely trauma care in India. That is talking about we have to ensure a proper trauma care as soon as accident had happened. So if you're providing that, obviously we can save the life. Right to life and personal liberty comes under Article 21. So this article is saying that Supreme Court recently gave a judgment, and in this judgment, right to trauma care is part of Article 21. It is a fundamental right. Okay, now let us see about what is this trauma care, why we need to enhance trauma care, everything. And this article is talking about the challenges. We have to see those challenges. Okay. So now let us see this case. Please make a note of the Supreme Court judgment. Safe Life Foundation versus Union of India. Write down Safe Life Foundation. Safe Life Foundation versus Union of India 2026. Safe Life Foundation versus Union of India 2026. In this case, Supreme Court recognized that access to trauma care is integral part of Article 21. Access to trauma care is integral part of Article 21. You know about Article 21, right? Right to life and personal liberty. And after your local self bodies, sir will be teaching about his fundamental rights. Don't worry. There you will come across all those fundamental rights, and you will come across many Supreme Court judgments in that fundamental rights topic. Okay, next one here is Supreme Court emphasized that access to trauma care is no longer merely a welfare measure. So till today we thought that access to trauma care is a welfare measure. But Supreme Court said that it is not a welfare measure, but it is a constitutional obligation. It comes under Article 21. It is a fundamental right of people. It is not the measure or the welfare measure taken by the government. It is a fundamental right. That is a judgment given by Supreme Court in this Safe Life Foundation versus Union of India case of 2026. What is trauma care? Trauma care, nothing but it is organized system of emergency medical services. Emergency medical services. If there is any accident, emergency we need some some critical equipment, and we need proper transportation, proper diagnosis, proper treatment, rehabilitation, follow-up. All these will included in this trauma care. which is given for this victims of accidents and as well as burns, any falls, somebody will be falling from the buildings, like so in that cases and in some disasters or in any other emergencies, we have to include all these things which comes under this entirely trauma care. Okay, so here UPSC can give you a prelims based question. Recently trauma care is in use. What does it refers? It may give you ABCD options. Okay, trauma care includes not only emergency medical services, include transportation, include diagnosis, treatment, rehabilitation, follow-up. And in that, it may give like it is applicable only for accident victims. No, it is for accident victims, burn victims, falls violence, disasters or any other emergency. It is not only limited to accident care. Are you understanding? In this way, UPSC will frame the statements. Don't fall into that trap. Okay. And what are the provisions related to this trauma care? We have Article 21. You know about right to life and personal liberty. Apart from that, we have some acts in our country which are focusing on this trauma care. So first one is we have Motor Vehicle Act. First one is Motor Vehicle Act. Under that, there is one section. The number of that section is section 162. It provides cashless treatment for road accident victims. Recently, government came up with a scheme called as PM Rahat. I thought that there will be a question on PM Rahat in 2026 paper, but there is no question on that PM Rahat. In 2027, for sure, you will be having a question on that PM Rahat. So, what is PM Rahat scheme is? If there is any accident on whatever the road it may be, like small roads or big roads or national highways, whatever it may be, that accident victim should get proper treatment, that too cashless treatment of around 1.5 lakh rupees. Okay. So you have to say about this PM Rahat and keep star mark for that, and who are going to write 2027 exam, you have to focus on that for sure. And next one is there is one more act under this Motor Vehicles Act. It will provide protection to good Samaritans. I said about good Samaritans, that means that about the people who are helping this accident victims to reach out the nearby hospital. Okay, so even this act is protecting those good Samaritans who are assisting these accident victims from legal and procedural harassment. So normally police will be going to them, calling them, why did it happen, where did it happen, how come you saw that, so who were there. So like that, obviously what happens, police, they will be harassing them like that, no. So to protect the Samaritans, there is one act, Motor Vehicles Act. In that section 134 is talking about that. And this one is recent in 2020, government came up with this Good Samaritan rules. Why? Because to protect the life of these accident victims. Okay, and next one is we have National Health Mission. Under that, government is improving emergency medical services, trauma centers and ambulance networks across the country. So these are the some important steps taken by the government related to this trauma care. And what are the directions given by Supreme Court in this judgment? The first one is we have to integrate emergency response system. If you go to different states, in Telangana it is 108 for ambulance. In other states, other number. So we want to come up with a uniform number for this emergency response system. Like we have 100, 101, 102, 108, 1033, 1091. All this has to be integrated into a single number 112. That is the one direction given by Supreme Court. And next one is we have to improve standards in our ambulance services. So if you have seen ambulances, they will not be having this kind of oxygen services. Some will be not having GPS tracking. So here now we want to improve the standards in our ambulance services. Every ambulance should install GPS tracking system, and this ambulance has to be linked with this 112 number. And this one is we have to increase trauma care infrastructure in our country across highways, in urban areas, peri-urban, semi-urban areas, and even in rural areas. So we have to improve our systems. And next one is we have to implement this PM Rahat scheme and as well as Good Samaritan protection. So these are the guidelines given by the Supreme Court in this judgment. Why we have to increase this trauma care? First one is we have to reduce the deaths of people. And next one is about golden hour. Within 1 hour, we have to provide the proper treatment so that there will be increased chances of recovery and we can reduce the deaths. And next one is we have to strengthen our public healthcare system. We are focusing on improving of emergency preparedness and healthcare delivery. And we are trying to enhance road safety outcomes also. And we have to ensure equitable healthcare system in our country. And next one is we have to improve disaster preparedness. So these are the reasons why we have to take this kind of steps for improving of trauma care in our country. Clear? Yes, now we have to see challenges, right? So this article is focusing on mainly challenges. We'll see just this last paragraph which talks about the challenges we are facing. The first important challenge here is if you are going to Bihar, if you are coming to Kerala, Tamil Nadu, AP, so do we have same kind of healthcare system? No. So there is uneven capacity. Capacity is not same with all states in our country uniformly. Some states are doing extremely better. Some states are doing worse. So if you are implementing this, we cannot implement uniformly in our country. That is a big challenge. And next one here is, do we have ambulance network uniform in our country? Ambulance network is also not properly available. It is uneven. And even if you want to integrate this kind of one number and GPS tracking of ambulances with this one number, we need lots of advanced technology. Some states can adopt with technology, some states cannot because of digital divide. Okay, that is also one problem. And next one is there will be increased burden on the states. And if they are not taking some action, then what happens? Obviously, it will be having impact on that entire Supreme Court judgments. Okay. And next one here is there is no proper hospitals nearby. Do these national highways will be having hospitals on the roadside? For sure, no. So we have to come up with kind of establishments. That will be also a problem. So if you want to implement all these from government side, first we need to have funds. Is government spending that much funds in healthcare? Okay, there is budgetary allocations are not there that much related to healthcare sector in our country. So those are the challenges you have to remember. Are you understanding? Just this one paragraph is talking about that. Okay, let us see the next article. Say this, guys. Sustaining India's low fertility rate. This article is talking about TFR. What is TFR? How many children a woman can bear in her reproductive age. That is called as TFR, and this is 2024 prelims question. Recently TFR is in news. What it is? They gave ABCD option. Simple question. Okay, now this article is saying that there is low fertility phase in our country and TFR is around 1.9 in our country overall. Okay, so there is decreasing of TFR. Why decreasing of TFR? The first one is urbanization is happening at a very rapid pace. Yes, people are shifting towards urban areas. In urban areas, what is the problem? Pollution. Because of this, obviously, reproductive health of women and men is getting affected. So, overall fertility rates in men and women are decreasing. Women is not producing quality egg, PCOS, PCOD, and men, sperm count is decreasing, motility of sperm is decreasing, entirely the quality of sperm is getting affected. And next one here is women education. Women are completing PGs, PhDs. Take example of your history ma'am. She is in London now. Okay, so what is happening? She don't want to even get married also. I think she already shared her views in your class. Okay. Even after 30 or 35 years, women, they are focusing on their advancement, development, their career because of that late marriages. What happens here is After 30 years in women, their quality will be drastically reduced. Quality of egg will be not there, and even the number of eggs will be reduced. So no eggs, no quality. That will lead to infertility. That is the second reason. And next one is migration is happening. Because of this migration, what is happening here? The amount to raise kids will be also increased. Yes or no? If there is amount increased, obviously they will try to plan only one or none. Earlier they used to plan 3 or 4 kids, but now one or none. If you take school fees, do you know, I'll tell you here, I want to admit my children in the school, and in the last 3 days I went to some schools and they are charging 70,000, 80, 90,000 per one kid, and the timings of that school is just 9 to 12, only 3 hours. Only 3 hours, and that too, it is pre-nursery, preschool. It is not nursery, pre-nursery. They are charging 60 to 90 based on that school. And I asked, what is the timing? What will you make to learn? What they said is, they will learn ABCD. They will learn 1 to 10. They will tell A for apple till Z. And they will learn how to eat. And in that 3 hours, half an hour will be eating time, it seems. Eating time. And the next one is, if they want to sleep, we will also arrange 1 hour for sleeping time. And I thought that what they learn. And actually my kids already know A to Z. They know 1 to 10. They know A for apple all. They clearly say all colors. I thought that is there any need to send them to preschool by paying 90,000 rupees. Apart from this 90,000, again we have to pay for uniform, that too for 3 hours. And again they said something, admission fees 5,000, and even they have to get all vaccination card also. Unfortunately, I missed that card. Aisha, so I understood that what is the fate, what is happening. So if we want to raise more and more kids, it won't happen in these urban areas. So like that, I thought that I will send my kids in my school where I studied. So there was only till my 10th class, just I paid 9,000 rupees only for my school fees at that time. But now it will be like lakhs. There is no value for money actually, especially in the schools. They are charging more than lakhs. More than lakhs. If you go to I went to normal school only, not international school. In international school, it will be like minimum 1.5 lakhs for preschool. I thought, what should I do? How can I raise my children? Okay, so here, what is happening here? If you are migrating to urban areas, obviously the living cost will be very high. So for that reason also, we are trying to limit the number of children. That is also one important reason. And next one is, we have very weak preparatory institutions. If you go to US or like developed countries, till 10th class, there is free education. Government schools are like high class, they will provide high class education. But in our country only, we have like private schools and government schools. But in US, till 10th, they will be having entirely free education, even with free books, free transportation, everything. Here, for everything, we have to pay extra amount. Okay, next one here is, there is informal labor market. If there is informal labor market, they will not get proper pensions, they will not get proper social security also. So because of this, what happened? We are trying to limit our children. And next one is erosion of family support. Earlier, we used to have joint families. Our grandparents used to take care of grandchild. And how many children we are giving? They used to take care. But now, we have to balance our both professional life and family life. So because of this, we want to limit our number of children. So these are the major reasons which are happening, which are leading to this decreasing of fertility rate in our country. And if you see the statistics here, the national average is 1.9 in our country. But if you see the global average, it is 2.2. Across the world, they are maintaining 2.2, but in India, it decreased to 1.9. That means in future, elderly people will be more and youth population will be less. And next one is in urban areas, it is further more less. It is 1.5 in urban areas, and it is ultra low in Delhi. In Delhi, 1.2. In Kerala and Tamil Nadu, it is 1.3. Actually, US is maintaining 1.6, Finland is maintaining 1.4, and Japan is maintaining 1.3. But in Delhi, we are maintaining just 1.2. That means it is very less compared to that of developed countries as well. And high fertility rates is seen in Bihar. In Bihar, it is 2.9. Earlier, it is used to be like 5, 6. If you take your grandmothers or great grandmothers, they used to have like more than 10 children. 10, 11, 12. My great grandmother has 12 children. All are male, only one female in that. So, like that, earlier generations they used to have more than 6 only. But now, even if you're having two, you have 2 kids. Many say that you have 2 now. I have only 1. So, like that, nowadays having 2 is also like a great thing. They forget about this past of 11, 12 kids. And next one is elderly population will be increasing in India. Currently, there are around 150 million, and there are some projections which says that by 2050 in India, elderly population who are more than 60 years will be 347 million, and younger population will be decreasing. Okay, so these are the data given in this article. So just remember about national TFR, urban TFR, high fertility states and low fertility areas. That you can use in your answers. Okay, only this 4 points is enough, not more than that. And next, what will be the impact? Obviously, elderly people will be increasing. Elderly people, along with their age, even they will be having more and more diseases like hypertension, diabetes, kidney disease, liver disease. So there will be increased burden on the family. Not only increased burden on family, but even increased burden on the government. Government has to give pensions no for old age people. And next one here is there will be healthcare shift. So we have to focus on geriatric care. Geriatric care means nothing but hypertension related doctors, diabetes related, dementia. They will be having this problem, dementia. They will forget everything. So they will be saying only one thing from morning to evening. Cheppinde, cheppi, cheppinde, cheppi, cheppinde, cheppi. So they have this problem of dementia. And next one here is obviously there will be increase in loneliness. And I remember one thing, my mother always used to say one thing. So even though I lost your father at very young age, so I'm very happy because I have 4 kids. Always you 4 are my happiness. But now if you're having 1 or 2 kids, can we have that much happiness? If there is any function or like if you're celebrating any festival in our family, this family members will be enough to create fun, to celebrate that, everything. But now what is happening if you're having only 1 or none kid? So can we have that kind of fulfillment in our life? That kind of joy in our house? No. So here what happens? There will be the increase in loneliness. Because of loneliness, there will be mental illness. Okay, health vulnerability will be increases. And next one here is what happens here nowadays, younger people are migrating to other areas. They will be not staying with their parents. So because of this, there is increasing of old age homes, palliative care. So like that, even mental stability and emotional stability cannot be maintained in this old age people. So there will be the multiple problems related to decreasing of TFR. Okay. See these questions, guys. Consider the following statements regarding TFR. So if UPSC gave a question on TFR, it may give question in next 3 to 4 years related to that topic for sure. So it may give this time a statement based question, not like simply ABCD based question. So you have to practice such kind of questions related to TFR. Say this first statement is TFR is the average number of children a woman is expected to bear during her reproductive years. Second one, replacement level fertility is generally considered to be around 2.1 children per woman. A country with TFR below replacement level will immediately experience population decline. What is the answer? What about first statement? Second statement? Okay, first statement is right and second statement is right. Think about this. Will it immediately, next generation like that? It may take some years of time. No, it will not leads to immediate decline of population. Third one is wrong. Answer is A, 1 and 2. Okay. And see this next question, application based question. Which of the following may result from sustained low total fertility rate? What will be the result of low TFR? First one is population aging. Second one is shrinking of labor force. Third one is increased dependency ratio. Fourth one is automatic increase in per capita income. All think once again. For sure, population aging will happen. Okay. And see the second one, labor force. Yes. See here, increased dependency ratio. Yes. What about automatic increase per capita income? Age, old age people is increasing means will they do work? This will be not. This won't happen. Answer is A, 1, 2 and 3. So this will be like application based questions. So you have to apply that concept. Okay. That's all guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this class, please hit the like button and please to share this class to your friends. And one more thing is, if you want to start your GS foundation course or if you want to start your UPSC preparation, you can contact us guys. We are providing both online and offline courses. And you can contact us on this number 8074765513. And I wish you all the best.